Awesome.
All right, cool. Welcome, Glacia, to our show, Google Hangouts. This is like when I move that rapidly, my picture gets kind of weird. That's interesting. And like I see like blocks or something. So let's just start, I guess, by kind of doing what we did last week on the radio show, talking about breaking free of the mind matrix and just what that means to us and all the things that we have to offer with helping people to break free of the control system. There's a lot of different ideas of what the control system is, but I think tuned into the fact that there is powers of some sort, whether it's the Illuminati, the shadow government, the banking system, you know, or something perhaps even higher than that, that is trying to, you know, maybe put the squeeze on us and not let us live life as fun and freely as we would like. So can I get your thoughts on that to start?
Well, I'm going to share something that I've been dealing with a lot lately, and that is the timeline editing and the mental virus uploads. So the mental virus uploads are when you hear ringing in your ears, and then that's basically a program being installed into your operating system, your energy, and then later it runs. It doesn't instantly start running. It may, but it also may not. And it happens around the new moon and the full moon. And I've been noticing on both sides of this new moon that I was having a bunch of ringing in my ears, and then I was having some really angry outbursts where I had to stop and ask myself, like, is this mine? And of course it was not mine. And as soon as I knew what was going on, I was able to shift the energy and let go of it completely. But for people that don't know that's going on, they tend to project that out onto other people. And then that creates conflict, creates tension, creates a lot of negativity, and that sets people up to be targets for energetic harvesting. And for everyone that hasn't ever heard of energetic harvesting, it is essentially where humans are being used similar to cattle, but it's our energy that is being taken from us, not some physical product like milk or meat. So with that being said, a lot of people during this full moon were experiencing, or new moon, excuse me, were experiencing this same thing. And so much conflict broke out, so many arguments between people, so much upset. And it happened to be where it was very much projected. And I got so mad that my head actually felt like it was spinning, which is pretty mad for me. And I typically don't get mad. I have a lot of the access consciousness tools, so I'm able to handle any situation that comes up. But for the programming, before I knew that I got uploaded, I felt like my blood was boiling. I felt like my head might pop off and just start spinning around. I was so furious, and really not about anything that was actually real. It was more just this perception of being underappreciated or undervalued.
So you just set our whole conversation up beautifully. First of all, Glacia and I have known each other for many years, and we've studied a lot of different healing modalities. And the further down the rabbit hole you go, the more you learn and the more tools you get as well. So Access Consciousness definitely talks about this idea that most of our thoughts aren't ours. So there's a, you know, this is all over the place. Carl Jung talked about the collective unconscious. We're living sort of in this energetic soup, or this collective mind. And, you know, obviously we know that we take on the thoughts of our parents, the beliefs of our parents, our culture, society, so on and so forth. And that's, much of that is just simply done subconsciously. We pick it up from other people. But what we often are unaware of is that we're actually picking up on all of that energetically or telepathically, even if we didn't actually hear somebody say it, which often we could take on as a belief, not even knowing that we did. But sometimes we don't even have to hear it. We're simply in the environment, sort of like picking up radio waves of other people's negative emotions, negative thoughts. It's sort of like when somebody walks in the room and you're like, whoa, I feel like that crunchy, crispy energy around them. You can feel it. It's like an energy field around that person. We're in this energy field all the time, and we're picking up thoughts, emotions, beliefs that aren't necessarily didn't originate with us, but we're certainly affected by it. And then we may project it onto somebody else and cause conflict. What Glacia was referring to is something perhaps a little bit more sinister, where it's not just people, well, I mean, it is, because we know that we're picking up on all of this stuff all the time, kind of inadvertently, but you're referring to something that's more intentional.
Yes.
We're intentionally being kept in a lower vibration, a lower emotional state, because they're able to harvest that energy, those negative emotions. And as soon as you started talking about that, I got that picture of the movie The Matrix, where we're like batteries. And the picture may not be accurate, but essentially the way it works is very similar to that. Now, of course, just to explain, our premise for the show is not to make things sound hopeless and despairing and like we're helpless or we're victims. We live inside of what we call this mind matrix, which is kind of, I visualize it like the Truman Show, living inside this dome. And inside of this dome, it's not the real truth of the universe. The real truth of the universe is all power, potential, love, light, peace, free expression, true free will. But inside of this matrix, we're living in an altered reality where there is duality thinking, where there is pain, suffering, illness, lack. And it's almost like a video game program or a computer program, and the code is written in a way that this is the reality that we experience. It's not the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality lives outside of that dome as free possibility, true perfection, anything we want. But we're kind of stuck in this, matrix where our energies are being harvested, and there's a lot of things at play to keep us in that lower emotional state. And there's 1,000 ways to do that. I don't have enough money. I'm in scarcity. I'm worried about money. I can generate negative emotion about that. My boyfriends keep leaving me or cheating on me. I can generate negative emotion about that. I have conflict with another country and we're going to go to war. I can generate negative emotion about that. So we're going to talk about a lot of tools to clear that stuff, to put us back in our power so that we can rise above and tap into that true potential, that true power, our divine self. Take it away, Glacia.
So one of the things that I realized that needed to be done when I recognized the interference, the programming that had been uploaded, and the reason that I feel I was susceptible to it is that I kind of got a little sloppy with my energy on Sunday, got a little lazy, not paying attention to energetic hygiene, and that is the day when I felt most of, or heard most of, the ringing in my ears, and I let myself get just completely drained and exhausted. And so anyways, once I realized what was going on, I said, any energy that doesn't belong to me, I command you leave now. Now, we live in a free will zone. So your will has a lot of bearing to it. You hold a great amount of power. We all do. So much that we can interfere with ourselves and we can interfere with other people. But back to the point, when I heard ringing after that, and even today I heard ringing again in my ears, and not that all ringing in your ears is negative, it's not, but it is about your body's way of letting you know that there's an incoming energy stream. That's how your body registers it. You get ringing in your ears. It's just the sound of a download, So So when I hear this ringing, I say, if this energy is not in my highest good, I command that it leave now. And if it stops immediately, then I know that it was not in my highest good and I just prevented some type of programming. And if it doesn't stop, then I know it's something that I call my spirit guides and other multidimensional beings that I find support with. I call them my team. So when you hear me say my team, that's who I'm referring to. So I feel that they sometimes are giving me bits of information that my body registers as a ringing in the ears as well. So if my team is giving it to me, or my higher self, or if it's coming directly from source, or if it's some type of light code activation, that is in my highest good, and so it continues. And so I don't just say, whatever this is, stop, because I don't want to stop anything that's helping me progress. I make sure to be very clear about, if this is not in my highest good, I command that it leave now. And you can also do that with different types of psychic attacks. You can just say, this isn't mine. I return this to sender with consciousness attached. Because when you all of a sudden start thinking about somebody and you're feeling, negative feelings, or thinking they might be thinking negative things about you, they may be. And you can just detach from that. It's not yours. You don't have to own it. You don't have to absorb it. You don't even have to transmute it. You just have to say, no, not mine, not receiving, return to sender with consciousness attached. And the reason I say with consciousness attached is because then you're not just sending a harmful or hurtful energy back to the person for them to deal with. You're giving them the tools and energy to heal it within themselves. So it becomes a winning situation for both parties. You don't get the attack, and they may get the consciousness that prevents them from doing that again. And it may even be that they don't know they're doing it. Whenever you think negative thoughts about somebody or wish ill on somebody, you are putting that into their energy field. And a lot of people, if you're sensitive, you can feel it. You can feel when someone's doing that to you. And it may make some people watching this, it may make you think twice about thinking negative thoughts about other people or wishing harmful things for other people. Even if it is a politician that's not so popular.
What? Now you're opening a can of worms. So I love everything that you were saying. Whenever you're talking, it's like, oh yes, and this, and I want to say this, and I want to say this. So I just would love to confirm, what Glacia has been saying about the tone. First of all, what she was saying about not blocking out everything. So a really good habit to get into, because we are in control, we are sovereign, and our word does create our reality, but we have to know that. We have to consciously choose that and step into our power. If we're not, it's sort of, then we are subject to it if we don't consciously take action to take control. Sort of like, if we don't know that the poison is in the water, we're still going to be poisoned. Once we know and we take action to purify the water or get a different source of water, then we're no longer affected by that. So once we have the knowledge, the awareness, then we can step into our power and claim our authority, and we are in control, and then we can be protected. Another thing, everything she was saying about letting in the good and not the bad, we can create a filter, just like the water. You can get the water without the poison. You can purify it. So we can close our aura. Don't just say, I close my aura, because you don't want bad things to come in. You want to make sure you still get the good stuff. So I close my aura to everything that's not for my highest good, and about the tones. So Glacia told me this about the tones. I don't know, it's been a few weeks. And as soon as she said it, it totally resonated with me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's totally what's been happening. And the reason she calls it timeline editing is because we all know that we have multiple possible futures. And some of them are better than others, right? Because depending on the energy that we're choosing. So say I'm staying in a positive energy and I'm putting out positive intention and I know that I'm doing the work and I'm staying in the consciousness I need to be to create and manifest and draw in this positive future. But they can do timeline editing where they put me on a different timeline for a different future so that I never quite manifest the thing that I'm actually creating my escrow, I'm doing the work, I'm staying in the consciousness, but it just never comes to me because they keep flipping me over to this other parallel timeline. And as soon as she told me that, I was just like, that's totally what's been happening. I know it. And I was a little mad, I have to be honest. And then I totally got confirmation. So we were talking about this on our radio show last week. And that very night, I do some group channeling with some women, and we channel with Babaji. If anybody doesn't know who he is, look him up. And nobody's more higher, and there's nobody that's not equal. So we're all equal with all these ascended masters. Yes, we may not have raised our consciousness to the level that they achieved during their lifetime, but we're all divine. We're all sparks of God. And so it's sort of like Jesus, didn't count it. I can't remember the wording in the Bible, but to consider himself to be equal with God, because we are all equal with God. And so, yes, we do channel with Babaji. And he's is really wonderful. But he essentially, someone in my group asked a question, and we had not had this discussion, but she asked a question out of the blue about these tones that she was getting in her ear. And based on what Glacia had told me, and I also just knew, I said, you're being it's interference. You're being interfered with by these other beings or the control system. And indeed, that was confirmed through our channeling that that's what's going on. So when you know what it is, then you can establish authority, say stop it. You're not allowed to do that, and take back control. But you need to know. Knowledge is power. So that's what Glacia. That's really our purpose here, is to bring up every wild, wacky, to all the way to the very normal and seemingly normal things that affect us, that keep us out of our power, so that we have the knowledge to protect ourselves and live the lives of, joy, empowerment, love, connection, everything all the good stuff we want.
And speaking of normal, so I'd like to talk about a topic that is pretty normal. And that has to do with wanting, needing, and having, and the difference between those energies. So I like to tell people you can never have what you want or need. And that is the ultimate truth, because if you want it, then you don't have it, and you're not in a vibrational alignment to have it because you want it. Wanting is a state of desiring something that you do not have. So, and then needing definitely suggests not having. And so those two little words speak to your subconscious mind and trip up almost every single person on the planet. It's just built into our language to disempower us. So when you're saying, oh, I want $25,000, then you're blocking yourself from getting $25,000. And it seems counterintuitive, because you're saying, no, I'm telling the universe that's what I want. But it's like the carrot dangling at the end of the stick on a string. It's just that much further away from you all the time, because that space in between is the energy of want or need. It can be the same thing. So in getting what you actually want, for lack of a better word, pretending as if you have it is the way that you can actually get it. So putting yourself into a vibrational alignment with it by imagining it. Your imagination is one of your greatest tools for creating, manifesting, and aligning on this planet. And that is why when we're children, we are taught that it's just your imagination. Children their brilliance is dismissed left and right by teachers, by parents, by other adults. And really, the imagination with children, they are able to harness the creative powers. And it's only when the adults tell them they can't, or downplay and dismiss their tools for creation that they stop using them. So a lot of adults now, yeah, we can imagine if you say, okay, imagine what a pink elephant looks like. Yeah, you can imagine that. But you ask them something like, well, what do you want in life? And they're like, I don't know. I think I don't want this or that. And they'll tell you what they don't want. But if you ask them to dream up their life that they would love, which puts you in vibrational alignment with actually experiencing it. And I'm not saying just one time you go through the process and be like, oh, I want this, and then it'll show up. It's practicing that vibration. But a lot of adults really struggle with getting into building this imaginary reality. And that's one of the things that we want to teach you here as well, how to manifest your creations. You create them first in your mind, and then they show up in the physical through a vibrational alignment. The universe is conspiring to give you everything you want and everything that would bring you joy. It's just that most of us stand in our own way and block off the receiving of it.
And just to, it's so interesting how that language is so, like, it's almost hard to get away from it, because even when you were talking about using the imagination, so your focus was on adults using their imagination, but the language is so foundational that you were saying, well, and you asked them, well, what do you want?
Right.
Like it's almost like we can't even get away from it, because that's just how we talk and we don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So something just came, something I thought of, which we could, I can certainly practice more. Instead of saying, what do you want, what do you like? And of course you could say, what would you like? Or you can say, and then always to practice it in the present, what do you like? And, I like having this, I like doing that. I like, instead of I want, that's a fairly easy shift. And then I also kind of channeled recently a cute way to do it, kind of like that genie in the bottle, because the universe will bring you whatever you desire. And sort of like being like a king, a king would be like, bring me this, right? So just telling the universe, bring me this, bring me X, whatever that is, because I choose it. I don't have to justify it. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to prove my worthiness. Bring it to me because I choose it and I deserve it, and then I openly and freely receive it. Mm-hmm. And it's fairly simple. If we can get all of our limiting beliefs about the fact that we don't deserve it, or we should, we're supposed to earn it, or how will other people feel if I have more than them, or all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just, as a command, bring it to me. So.
Yeah, what you were just talking about is also evidence of the disempowering of children, teaching them things like, well, you can't have that until you earn it, or you have to work hard to get that, or you don't deserve it. You haven't been good enough to deserve your desires. All of that stuff programs all of us as little children to feel insignificant and to feel undeserving. And then later in life, it doesn't matter how hard we're working, we still feel that undeserving. And so it, once again, is just like the carrot on the stick dangling in front of you. It's out there. You can't work hard enough to get it, because deep down inside, you always have to keep doing that to deserve it. So every little thing in your life that you receive, if you have to deserve it, then we would spend all of our time, and it would be independently determined, but working for a way to earn it. And if you think you have to work hard to earn it, it's going to take you a lot of hard work. If you think you have to sacrifice to earn it, that's going to take a lot of sacrifice. So whatever your beliefs are about it are really all that it's going to take. And like Serena just said, which was brilliant, if you just say, bring me this, there's no way to not receive it unless you say, bring me this, but then you have the limiting beliefs still in place that are, but I don't deserve it. I have to work hard for this. And all of those, your subconscious mind will just start spewing those out. If you ask, why can't I have this? You'll discover and uncover the limiting beliefs that are running in the background of your mind.
Yeah, I like the word picture of a king because they it's kind of actually a good metaphor that we can tap into for ourselves, because if you're born a king, you don't have to do anything to deserve it. You were born a king.
Mm-hmm.
It's your birthright. So you deserve it just by the fact that you were born, you know. And the truth is, we all deserve what we want just because we were born. Although we pick up all of those things, like Glacia said, you know, you don't deserve it. You have to work hard for it. And people literally do spend their whole life not consciously aware that that's what they're doing, but they're trying to earn love. You know, they're trying to prove that they deserve or that they're worthy of love. And there's so many ways that we try to prove to ourselves that we're okay and earn our parents' approval or earn our spouse's love and approval. And meanwhile, of course, sabotaging it the whole time as well, because we don't think that we really do. Um, I recently read this book, and I can't recommend it enough. And of course, this was not intentional to do a blurb about this book, but it's so awesome. Called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And his theory is that every problem we're creating for ourselves, we know that we're creating everything ourselves, but every problem that we create for ourselves is because we have what he calls an upper limit problem. We have an upper limit to how good we think it's okay to feel, how much success it's okay to have, how much love we deserve. And anytime life starts going too well for us in any area, we'll make sure that if not in that area, some other area will things need to not feel so good, because we're getting out, you know, we're just starting to feel too good and we don't deserve to feel that good, or something's wrong about feeling that good. And we'll find a way to bring ourselves back down. It can be something as simple as worry. Everything can be going great, and I might feel like, oh, I don't deserve to feel this good, this isn't right, and then I'll just start worrying about something that has nothing to do with anything, but it serves the purpose of not letting me feel too good. And or we'll start arguing with our spouse. We might be super successful in our business, or he works with movie stars and all kinds of super high-end successful people. They might have just had the success of their life, and then now all of a sudden they have marital trouble where they didn't before. It's just really interesting, all the ways that because we don't feel like we deserve it for one reason or another, we'll just find a way to make sure we don't have it.
Yeah, well, and even little things like phrases like "we can't have it all" or "you can't have it all," or "you can't have your cake and eat it too." You know, little things like that that suggest limitation just go into our subconscious mind and create this brick wall that these other ideas of limitless possibilities and you know, the programs and the comfort zone that we experience will hit that wall and will, like you said, suddenly manifest a problem out of nowhere where it didn't exist, just to uphold whatever limiting belief that is. If you can't have it all, then there always has to be something that's missing or lacking. And that's not the ultimate truth, definitely not. But for a lot of people, they don't even realize what's hidden and deeply buried in their subconscious minds. And we'll definitely be teaching some strategies to uncover and clear that as well. Serena and I both are neurolinguistic life coaches, and we do neurolinguistic programming as well. And that's the reprogramming of the subconscious mind. And we do a variety of other healing modalities too, but Serena is a really talented hypnotherapist as well, and she's great at getting into those mental programs and rewiring them and getting them to really work for people. And so we'll definitely be sharing a lot of information about the subconscious mind and how it is impacting your life and how it's preventing people from truly enjoying their lives and getting what they like.
Awesome. And Glacia is an extremely talented healer. She does, you know, neurolinguistic programming, of course, as well, pranic healing. I don't even know what to call some of the things you do, but she's able to communicate with your higher self. and find out things that are going on the astral levels or the energetic levels that you can't necessarily get to even with your subconscious mind. So we're going to be doing a lot of exciting things. I want to devote maybe a few minutes a week to doing a healing for a world leader that we may feel controversy about, but exactly like Glacia was saying, if we have an opinion one way or the other, we're still getting it more energy, and we're staying in that duality mindset of I'm either for or against. And that's just that duality mindset of conflict inside the matrix. And the truth is oneness, perfection, all unconditional love for all things, which is the truth outside the matrix. So Einstein said we can't solve the problem at the level of the problem. So we know that we can't solve the problem by discussing what's wrong with our president or another world leader or the situation here. If we're focusing on what's wrong with it and trying to fix it on that level, we're really just spinning our wheels. So it's much more powerful to come together in oneness and just send consciousness and love, and maybe whether that's through Ho'oponopono or simply sending pranic healing light to them, or doing some other type of oneness meditation. That's something we would like to incorporate and give you some tool every single week that you can help work on yourself, because we have a whole variety of tools. Some of them will be the Access Consciousness tools. Some of them will be, emotional freedom technique with the tapping. I've also just channeled this really amazing manifestation meditation that, we may choose to include, but there's going to be lots of tools, lots of tips for things that you can do to clear those limiting beliefs and step into the truth of your divinity, the truth that you deserve a perfectly happy life, where it can actually feel good all the time. It's possible. We can't conceive of it, but it's true. Things can go well all the time. Can you imagine? Most of us can't. I'm open to possibility, and we want to share all of that with you.
Yeah.
So Glacia, what would you like to leave people with today? Is just maybe a short little 5-minute, whether it's a tapping or a little meditation or something. What do you think is what's coming up for you to do for people as a practical tool to leave them with?
Okay, so this is something that you can use to clear your energy and to refresh your energy, essentially. And what it is you're going to step into a waterfall of pure light. And so just give yourself a few minutes to sit back and allow the most brilliant, beautiful, vibrant, white light, waterfall size, to start pouring down onto your crown chakra. And as it pours down onto your crown chakra, it's going to permeate the inside of your body and into every single cell and wash over you and through you. And while you're doing this, allow everything that's not serving your highest good, any limiting beliefs, any old energies, any stagnant energies, any stuck emotions, to just wash through. And your feet, you can just see it draining out of the bottom of your feet as this waterfall continues to move through you. And so by doing this, you are opening yourself up to receiving the divine light that is always available to you every second of every single day. That energy and that stream of life force is flowing to you. It's just a matter of being open to receiving it. And so allow it to move down into every cell, every organ, clearing out any type of toxicity, any type of pain. Allow it just to wash all of that away. And while you're doing this, instruct your body to heal and repair itself. So any vertebrae that are out of alignment, give extra attention to that area. Any painful areas, flow more water there. Hold that out into the waterfall even more. See that place being completely covered and washed and cleansed. Watch the deposits of darker energies fall off. Stagnant energies dissolve and dissipate and wash away. And then instruct your body to repair that area and use your imagination to see that area repairing itself. And if you don't have any pain or problems in your body, then just allow every cell to become renewed and full of that life force energy. And you can instruct your body to balance any imbalances that you may have and to wash away anything that it doesn't want or need in it. And this may be things like pesticides, germs, virus, bacteria, anything foreign that doesn't belong. This energetic wash can help wash that out of the body and flush it out of the body. And take slow, deep breaths. Pranic breathing is a really wonderful way to breathe during this energetic waterfall. And so breathing in for 6 seconds, filling out your abdomen first and then filling up your chest, and then holding it for 1 second. And then when you exhale, let your belly, let the air there move first and then out of your chest last. And it creates this wave of breath that is extremely beneficial for the body. It energizes the body, it detoxifies the body, it relaxes the body, and it also resets the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is the place that you store tension and stress, anxiety, fear, anger, some emotions that you really don't want to feel or you don't want to be stuck in. It's also the place of motivation and energetically moving forward in the world. So you want that to be clear and available for you. You want that chakra to be bringing energy in to brighten up your life, to help you live a very vibrant life. So allowing everything to wash away while you're breathing, you will feel a lot different after this. Just a couple minutes.
Good stuff.
Very good. That's actually
Well, I enjoyed that. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the morning too, just laying in bed. It's a wonderful way to energize your body first thing in the morning. Kind of take an energetic shower before you take your physical shower, or even in the shower you can do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm going to do that in the shower, I think, actually.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And it's amazing. I've been doing work with my back and just using the Access Consciousness tools to realign vertebrae that are a little bit out. And I can feel this subtle shifting when I do the clearing statements and then run energy through. It's pretty amazing. We are in control of our bodies. We just don't know we are.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we know, but.
Well, we know consciously, but we haven't worked that consciousness through to every single level of our being, you know.
Right.
If we had, then we would be, you know, walking on water and
flying around. I'd be flying.
Yeah, you'd be flying, right? So, but we're all a work in progress, but the more you know, the more tools you have, the more you clear out. I mean, it's a journey, but it's so worth it because, yes, our life isn't perfect. Yes, Glacia may have been interfered with, but she has the awareness so that she recognized it and then she was able to stop it and clear it and take that control. People who don't know this, it's like their lives are out of control. They're feeling angry. They're fighting with their, with their coworkers or their spouse, and they don't know that they're being influenced to do that. They think it's theirs, and then their ego aligns with it and takes it on as theirs, and then makes everybody else wrong in the process because, that's just what our ego mind does. So knowing that there's just so much more, and there's a way to live feeling good all the time. There's a way to live with things going well all the time. And the more we, learn and clear all this stuff, the better life feels. We're not perfect yet, but our lives are a lot better than they were when we met each other.
Yeah, it's really about understanding the rules of this game of life too, because we've been taught the wrong set of rules to really flourish and thrive here. We've been taught the limiting, disempowering, suffering rules. And a lot of us have just nailed that experience. It's time to really play the game and to have fun. Life is meant to be fun and uplifting. We're not here to slave away at a job we hate for a vacation once a year, if you even get that. We're here to enjoy every single moment of every single day. It's possible.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's almost 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's probably the average audience attention span. So I'm looking forward to doing this every week, probably either once or twice a week. And this will be up on one of our channels. This one will be on mine, Serena Denmark, on on YouTube. And then Glacia will be initiating some that will show up on her channel as well. And this is going to be great. And we're so excited that you guys are here to join us. And we're going to free ourselves, break free of this mind matrix, which is really all that's stopping us. It's just these limiting beliefs. Once we have control of that, we can turn it all around and create heaven on earth. So that's all I got for now.
All right.
Any closing words?
No, that's all I've got for now, too. I hope everybody has an absolutely fantastic day today.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.